Good afternoon, everyone. We'll just give people another second to log in and join us. If I can just maybe ask somebody, Pooja, Richard, Rohit, just if you can kind of give me a thumbs up that you can hear and see me okay. You can just put it into the question box. Just a little, I can hear you. That's all I really need just to confirm. Yep, thanks, Richard. Perfect. Okay. Like I said, we'll just give people another second or two. I'm usually pretty good about starting on time. I'm always sensitive to you guys sort of being here. Let me just double check one thing. Okay. Okay, well, let's get started. People may join as we get going, and that's totally fine. So my name is Todd, and I am the program manager in the School of Continuing Studies for the Digital and Content Marketing programs. I also look after a variety of other programs. I look after a program in public relations and information privacy, learning experience design, full stack web development. And I say that because I want you to know that I do not teach any of the courses. So I manage the program. I always say it's like running a small business. So anything that happens within my programs is my responsibility, from hiring instructors to worrying about sort of the integrity of the curriculum. If in today's session you've got very specific content questions, I can usually answer them. But if not, I'll just take it offline and I will share that back to you later. The most important thing is in my role is to ensure that you guys have a positive learning experience. So I think that's where I spend most of my time, just again, worry about curriculum, your experience, etc. Two quick housekeeping items. We are recording the session. So if you have to jump off, if you want to share this with anybody, you can do that. We'll send the recording soon. And if you have questions throughout the session, you can put them into the question box. I probably won't look at them until the very end, but if it's top of mind, feel free to drop it in there. And like I said, at the end, we'll spend a fair bit of time on questions and answers. Okay. The agenda for today is just to sort of share a little bit about the university, talk a little about careers in digital marketing, but we'll spend most of our time looking at the different programs. So we offer 3 different programs. I think most of you here today are looking, your interest is mostly in the digital part-time program, 3 courses, but I'll briefly mention the others just to, if you're thinking about other opportunities or maybe, plan B after you finish the digital marketing one. And like I said, we'll spend the rest of our time on the Q&A. So I wanted to ask a few poll questions just to get to know you guys a bit better, and I'll kind of incorporate your answers into my presentation. So the first question is, I was wondering if you're most interested in the part-time program or the full-time. So the part-time programs, there are 3 courses each, and the full-time program is 8 courses. I'll talk about those in more detail, but just wanted to get a sense of where people are at. Okay, perfect. You can see from the responses that most people are looking for the part-time. There's a few students who want the full-time, which is fine. I'll share that in a moment. Okay, next question. When are you hoping to start the program? We have some programs. We have one program, the part-time, which starts in May, and then we have all the programs will start again in September. All right, I think almost everybody voted there. Cool. So again, most people are looking to start in May, which I think ties into the promo we did for this and the 3-course part-time program. So that all makes good sense. The next program, next question. I just wondered if people had a background in marketing. Just a yes, no. All right. Excellent. So it looks like here most people, almost everyone has experience in marketing to some degree, and probably just doing like a deeper dive into the digital side of things or getting a credential on the digital side, but I'll certainly talk about that in a moment. And then my last question is, when was the last time you took a university level course? Was it sort of less than a year ago, 1 to 3 years, 3 to 5, or has it been much longer? Give people one more second for that. Okay, I think almost everyone voted. So this one's a little more varied, and you can see from the results that a lot of people actually have not been in school for some time, so 5+ years. So I'll talk a little bit about what you should kind of expect from being back in school, what that looks like today as compared to maybe when you last took a course. And obviously there's people in all the different groups there, but the largest is at 5+ years. Okay, that's all perfect. Thank you much for your responses, and I'll do my best to incorporate some of that feedback into my comments today. Just make sure you can see my slides. Yep, perfect. Okay. So one little slight commercial. We're in the process of building a new building, which has been delayed several times throughout COVID. But we were told it's supposed to be ready in August, which means in September, if we have courses that are on campus, they will most likely be in our new building. It's a pretty cool shape. It kind of has this twisted architecture. Yeah, we're really proud of it, and we're really excited to be back on campus. As you can see at the moment, I still work from home, but it will start to slowly go back into the office in May, and then I assume in September a bit more. So just a quick little, another commercial about the School of Continuing Studies. So we are obviously a department within the bigger scope of the university. We offer like 20-something professional programs in a variety of very career-focused, like digital marketing, content marketing, full stack web development, accounting, human resources, very career-focused. We have students mostly from our international programs who are from many different countries, so a pretty diverse group of students. All of our programs are designed by senior industry experts, so we put together what we call a PAC committee. They really help guide us, and then our instructors are practitioners, so I'll talk about this in a bit, but they are not degree faculty on campus who spend their lives doing research. They literally have day jobs working in industry. They're senior industry practitioners, and then they teach on the side. And most of our programs are pretty accelerated, which I'll talk about in a moment as well, a bit more. So in terms of getting into the field, again, most of you already have this as a field. Maybe I didn't really ask if you work in the field. I asked if you have experience in marketing. But if you're not sort of in this field, there are 4 or 5 main sort of in-demand marketing skills. You can see here it's SEO, social media marketing, content marketing, and data analytics. The last one is product and UX design. And actually, of these 5, 4 of them are covered in the digital marketing program. The UX design, we actually have a separate program. If that is something that you're interested in, we certainly have that. So we do cover the newest and latest trends that are happening in the field. And that goes back to that PAC committee, really helping us and guiding us to make sure that we are staying sort of current. Again, maybe you guys know this if you've got some experience in marketing, but this is kind of a typical pathway. So people would get a degree, they would probably then get maybe some sort of specialization in digital or content marketing. And on top of that, then they start to add in these other credentials, like getting a certification in Google Analytics or HubSpot or Facebook ads or Salesforce, which again just adds value back to you as someone looking for work in the field. What are some of the career pathways after finishing our programs? You can see the list on the left. I won't go into that. I pulled some data from some source. Usually I use Burning Glass as a research sort of tool. The salaries do range, but more importantly on this slide, I think you can see that the number of jobs in digital marketing and content marketing have really increased in the last 5-6 years. And I can only tell you from my own experience, but even in our office, sometimes it's hard to find digital marketing people, good digital marketing people. Those people are becoming a focal point of any organization where maybe before they were kind of in the corner, and now everything is sort of online and digital, and those people play such a critical role in the growth of any business, of selling whatever you're selling. So it's really become an important role in any organization, and the demand shows that. Oh, I just want to mention career services because obviously maybe you guys already have jobs or maybe looking to change careers, but we haven't done the best job within career services for our students, and only recently we've really sort of picked up the slack there. We actually now have a full-time career services person dedicated just to our students. We've got some monthly sessions that you can attend on networking and career advice and resume writing. We have some really neat AI tools that we've recently, I guess, purchased or licensed in resume writing and interview skills, which are really interesting. So lots more available to you as a student in the School of Continuing Studies, because again, previously we didn't really have these services, and the main campus didn't really meet our needs. So lots of exciting things happening there, which I think would benefit everyone. Okay, so with all that said, let me jump now into our programs. So why should you choose our programs? So I think they're pretty comprehensive, right? Like I said, we've got 4 of those 5 top marketing sort of skills in the program. You're learning from qualified instructors. You are, I'm just gonna hide something so I can see my slide better. You are, okay, it's better. Okay. So again, learning from qualified people, you're specializing, in this case, digital marketing, to really add value to your resume. So it's a pretty comprehensive curriculum. It's also pretty condensed, and that's a good thing and a bad thing, right? So the program is shorter than most other programs out there. That really gets you to your sort of, end goal quicker, but it does mean that there's a lot of information coming at you in a pretty short amount of time. So managing your time, I know a lot of people balance in families and life and work, and if you're an international student, then you've got other sort of commitments and things to worry about. So managing your time and setting time aside for schoolwork is super, super important. The other thing that we do in our program, which I think is really important, is we don't just focus on the hard skills like Google Analytics and HubSpot and SEO and SEM and those kinds of things. We also focus on what we call soft skills. And I'm sure you know what that means, but these days people really want to know that you can function and collaborate in group settings, and you've got strong communication skills, and you can problem solve. So we try and incorporate those kind of soft skills into our curriculum so that you don't just get the hard skills, but you actually get the soft skills, which makes you much more employable and makes people much more successful in the real world. And the other thing about our program, which is interesting, is it's cohort based. And what I mean by that is the students actually go through the program together as a group. So students that are in the first course are the same students in the second course and the third course. And that really lends a great opportunity for you guys to develop relationships, build networks, study groups. For our full-time programs, we have a lot of international students. So for them, they actually can get building some friends and people to connect with and travel with and all that good stuff. And that model really works well because in some cases, we can actually connect the curriculum and thread projects through the entire program because it's one sort of purchase, and we know that the group will stay together for all 3 courses. So it's really a nice feature, especially in the part-time programs. You don't really see that very much. People usually just buy one course here and one course there. It's all different students. So having that continuity, I think, really adds a lot of value back to our program. And who are our students? So again, they're just like you guys. Some people have experience, some people don't have experience. Some people are recently out of school. Some people have been out of school for quite some time. So that's sort of a common theme across all of our programs. But I think it actually adds a lot of value to the classroom experience, because what it does is the people who kind of have some experience, the instructor can kind of pull in their experiences, especially in some of the discussion boards. They can share what they do in the real world, how they're applying these concepts to their day job. And if you're a newbie, then maybe you're seeing things from a different lens, right? Like, especially in digital marketing, like, gosh, we're surrounded by sort of digital marketing. It beats us over the head every day on your phone with all these ads that come up and whatever. So everyone kind of has their place to add, and everyone has a voice, which I think is really important. And for international students, which again we have lots of, for them, obviously it's important to learn the content, but they also want to come to Canada, work in Canada, and then potentially live in Canada. Okay, so the courses and the program. So here are, or here is the certificate in digital marketing. So I won't go into the, oh, you know what? Actually, I need to apologize. The course titles have changed recently, so these are actually different titles, but the content is the same. So I apologize, I didn't update this slide when I was just doing some review this morning. So sorry if that's confusing everybody, but the topics are basically the same. So the first course is like fundamentals of digital marketing. You learn about personas and some privacy and just some general terminology in digital marketing. The second course, you're really diving into the search engine and social media. You're learning about Google Ads and pay-per-click and how to promote digital marketing on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and all those good things. So that really is probably where a lot of you really are trying to learn the information. That comes from the second course. And the third course is about the CRM, like building a CRM, building a database, automating the marketing, creating email drip campaigns, and the analytics and stuff comes there as well. So that's the sort of the three courses. The entire program is 6 months. We also have a version that's called intensive, which you can complete in less than 11 weeks. You take one course at a time, and we've got an intake in September, January, and May. So there's always some cohort starting pretty much every few months. So easy to sort of jump in a schedule that works best for you. Then you get into the content marketing side of things. So I don't know if this is interesting to people, but these courses are specific to content marketing. Again, one course at a time, September and January intakes, and those are the three courses. So it's again about how to plan for content, how to create the content, and then how to amplify and promote that content. So we do have some students who will do the digital marketing first, and then they'll do the content marketing. So just keep in mind that that is an option for some people. I'll throw this up here just as a little commercial in case people, or there's some people that are thinking about the full-time, which I think there are. But this one is really more about taking the 3 courses in digital, the 3 courses in content. We added an extra course in marketing fundamentals and business in the digital age, and we made it 8 courses in total to make it a full-time program. In this case, you're actually taking 2 courses at a time, so slightly different format. And I'll show you what a schedule looks like in a second. If people have specific questions about the different programs, we can just answer that at the very, very end, okay? So here's a sample schedule for the part-time program. So this is the 3 courses in digital or the 3 courses in content. So the courses are basically 7 weeks of asynchronous online and 1 weekend block. So when you do that work during that asynchronous portion, each week is really up to you. So there's always going to be deadlines and those kinds of requirements. But if you do the work in the morning before you go to work, I do it after I put my kids to bed, even though I have one who is now in university. I don't have young kids, but anyway. But really, within the week, when you do that work is totally up to you. You may do some readings on Monday. You may do some class discussion postings on Tuesday. Some practice stuff on Wednesday. You take Thursday off because you've got hockey that night. So really, again, there are deadlines, but when you sort of break up and do the work is totally up to you. A lot of the courses will also have these they're not new, but these live sessions with the instructor. So even though we say it's online asynchronous, which means not live, there's no required time you have to be online. We do have these live sessions, which normally take place in the evening, and you can join them. The instructor will typically share information about like that week's content. It's a chance for you guys to ask questions, maybe get some clarification on the assignments, and they are recorded. So we'll record those sessions, and then you can watch them back if you can't join. The weekend block is a Saturday, Sunday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Those are currently either done live online via Zoom, or we're starting to sort of introduce those back to campus with like different sections. So you either choose the live online section or you can choose the on-campus section, totally up to you. But just a clear picture of there's a lot of flexibility for you to work around life and family and all that good stuff. I'll just mention this quickly. I know this is only a few of you, but if you're doing the full-time program, it's a little different because you're taking 2 courses at a time. you are sort of have a very structured time where you're at 3:30 to 6:30 each week. Each session kind of is the same throughout. And again, it's much more live in person, even if it's on Zoom, but it's definitely more sort of a typical 3 hours on Monday, 3 hours on Wednesday for one course, and Tuesday and Thursday may have a different course. In addition to all the content you learn, I talked about those soft skills, there's also lots of other added value things I wanted to share with you. So as a student in our programs, you have free access to LinkedIn Learning. So you can kind of learn about something specific within digital marketing, content marketing, or you can learn about how to sew a, mittens, I don't care. But all the content in LinkedIn Learning is available to you guys. Instructors do try and bring in sort of guest speakers and have little panel discussions. I mentioned the career services. You also get access to Microsoft Office as a student, so you can download that for free with PowerPoint and OneNote and Word and Excel. So if you don't have that or have access to that, that's another sort of thing we can provide, or we do provide as one of your students. And there's something else called Level Up, which is only for domestic students, but Level Up is a program that's sort of sponsored by the government through one of our partners called Ripen. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it's RII, there's 2 I's, PEN. And they pay you to do these like kind of like internships for like 8 weeks or whatever the number might be. You could do it on your own, you could do it as a group, and everyone gets paid actually to do that work. So it's like I said, government funded. They've got millions of dollars they're trying to spend. So I think there's lots of opportunities, especially in the digital space. So lots of things you can do if you need to gain some experience, build up your portfolio, or maybe earn a few bucks. Okay, oops, we'll skip that. And that's all I really wanted to share today. So again, my goal was just to kind of introduce you to the program a little bit, give you some of the structure. I'm happy to answer questions if people have them. Here on the screen, you can see if you have specific questions, you can reach out to our advisor. Once you become a student, you can reach out to the registration coordinator team. Yeah, hopefully that gave you some insight into the program. Oops, I lost my questions there. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Alyssa. The first question from Alyssa. Awesome. Can OSAP cover the program cost? So great question. So the only program we offer that is eligible for OSAP is the intensive format, and that's only available in the 3-course digital marketing certificate. And what makes it eligible for OSAP is the fact that it's less than 11 weeks. So that was a requirement by the government. That's why we created the format specifically for that. I just launched an intensive a month ago, whatever, and we had 20 students enrolled, which was pretty amazing. So that one, I didn't really share the details on that. I can do that now. So the big difference there, Alyssa, is for the intensive, again, it's the same content for 6 months of the blended version, but we kind of condensed it into 11 weeks. Correct, Alyssa, the full-time is not covered by OSAP, only the intensive. And the intensive is intense. So if you're trying to balance life and work and all those good things, it's a lot to take on. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, unfortunately, Alyssa, it's not for the full-time, only the intensive part-time. Any other questions? Just obviously send them, post them. That's fine. If you want to take off your mic, I think you might go do that. While people may be writing, whatever the case, I'll just say thanks to everybody for coming. I know people have busy lives and schedules and whatever, so we appreciate you learning a bit more about our programs. We do have the part-time digital marketing starts in May. I forget the exact date, maybe the 14th or 16th. I should probably know that. Oh, I can do something actually also. Okay, I think everybody can see my, I see some more questions coming in. Great, let me just show you this before I go back to the question. So this is the digital marketing courses. This is the certificate in digital marketing. So you can see here, there's the May 16th one, which is starting. There's the couple in the fall. And sorry, I'm just going to hide some things because I have too many things open on my screen. I can't really see how to navigate. So I'm just going to scroll. So this is just our website. So if you click on here in digital marketing and you click on digital and content marketing, you'll kind of can learn more about the program. You can see that there's the different programs. So there's the content. Next one starts in September. The part-time next one is in May 16th. And the full-time one starts again in September. You can also see the fees there as well. And to learn more, you just click on the button and kind of follow the pathway. Okay. Sorry, there's a couple more questions. Let me go back to them. Okay. So just finishing up a list of questions. It's only digital marketing listed. It's not the content marketing. So yeah, just that one program in content. Yeah, in digital, sorry. So the next question is from Abhishek, and is asking when the intensive starts. So the intensive will start again in September. We just launched one, like I said, about a month ago, and the next one will start in September. Actually, I think it's October. Sorry, in October. Yeah. So Richard's asking, is the program purely conceptual? Would I be able to practice SEO during or right after the program? Yeah. So there's a lot going on our side that makes it a little challenging to answer that question. So the intensive format has this project integrated through the whole program, and you're actually in HubSpot and you're actually promoting real content on a real blog that you're working on. So that when you're doing it in real time. I'm in the process of converting that kind of framework to the blended, which is the 6-month version, and that won't get launched until January. So for the SEO part, for the ones in September, the one in May, it's a little different because they're more project-based with assignments. So you don't always actually have this big project that's a real project, and we're working on that to bring that back into all the programs. So hopefully, Richard, that answers your question. But yeah, definitely opportunities to practice a bit during, but certainly more after for sure. So Phyllis just left, it looks like, but she asked the question, when is the deadline for September admission? For the part-time programs, it's open enrollment, no applications. So you don't have to worry about it. You can just literally sign up as long as there's space available. For September, the full-time program is actually already full, which is kind of crazy that we're in April and it's already full. So now we're actually accepting students domestically. If you're domestic, there's still room available. Otherwise, it's going to be in January. Okay. So yeah, so hopefully between the 3 programs and the different kind of things, I'm not confusing people because sometimes I have a habit of doing that. So if you're confused, just please ask a question. Danielle is asking, when will students have access to their course materials if they're starting in May? Oh, good question. So that starts on the Friday before the course begins. So if the class begins on the 16th, you'll have access to it on the 13th, which is the Friday. And Danielle, we also have an orientation which is scheduled. So if you don't have it, if you're already enrolled and you don't know about it, we're having an orientation. And I do that, I think, on the Friday before. So I'll talk more about the program, the details, and then I'll show you through how to find the course content. We use Moodle as our provider. Okay. Shantanu, give me a second, I'll answer your question. I'm going to stick to the digital for a second. Okay. So Daniel's asking, graduated from Ryerson, business management, having a hard time finding a job related to marketing. Do you believe this program will provide that experience needed for marketing jobs? From my perspective, I'm going to say yes. Again, I think there's a lot of people now that are really starting to specialize in digital marketing, which is really the crux of where people are spending their time in a marketing role. So having this credential will certainly add to your toolbox and give you not just the knowledge, but that credential that says, yes, I have this information. I'd also just suggest, Daniel, maybe you're doing this, but if there's ways for you to kind of, volunteer somewhere to gain some practical experience, learn from somebody, maybe there's like a, some nonprofit that you're obviously your background, but if your kids belong to like the soccer team, maybe there's ways to sort of help them. Or if you know, are active in a theater company, maybe there's things you can do to kind of learn a bit more about how that works. It's obviously added to your resume because, you know, just having a background in business, and obviously I'm sure you took a course or two in marketing, doesn't always sort of, you know, shout out to people when they've got specific concentrations in digital or marketing in general. So that's how I would answer that question. Okay. Shantano's asking, can I speak more about the content marketing side of things? So does it include coming up with ideas and figuring out what works in terms of content for a brand? Yeah, it definitely includes all those things. So like how to choose the best platform to sort of write your content, how to speak to a certain audience, where do you promote and amplify that content? If it's a video, if it's a blog, if it's, you know, SEO sort of content, how do you sort of write it in a way that's going to attract that segment? And then how do you sort of know that it's being successful? So all that stuff is absolutely covered in the content side of things. Okay, Shantanu was also asking about the networking. So the networking that I was talking about from that cohort based was more about the students networking, right? Like it's definitely more about you guys connecting as a group. And maybe there are people who work in the field that have a job that can sort of share job postings. I do get job postings quite often, and I just literally shoot that out to all the students, and you guys can apply as you want. I probably get one almost once every 2 weeks. I'm getting somebody asking. Sometimes instructors, I've had instructors actually, you know, so students that do well in course. I have one student who's actually currently working. She graduated, now she's working for the instructor in his consultancy business. He also got, I think, 2 or 3 other students a job with a sort of another company that he sort of does business with. They're looking for people. So yeah, there's definitely opportunities out there. Our new career services people can sort of, you know, again, guide people and help people. But that's what I think I was referring to. The other thing I'll mention, you know, I didn't talk about this in the added value, but we also have something called, oh, my brain just stopped working. It's called Coffee Connection. No, something's wrong there. This 10,000 Coffees. Thank you to my wife who's in the background. So 10,000 Coffees is a partnership we have with RBC Bank, and it's basically you signing up. It's free, it doesn't cost anything, and they connect you with people in industry. So you kind of have this virtual coffee with people, and they may be in marketing, maybe they're not, but you never know if that person knows someone who knows someone. So again, it just goes back to kind of that networking thing. Okay. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. So the Abhishek left, but so Abhishek was just asking if we want to enroll in the May course, is there financial aid available? Not directly through us. So the only thing is that intensive, the May intake is not intensive. If you go back to our website, are we on my website? Yeah, okay, let me go back to the website. If you go back to the website at the very, very top, let me just move a few more things on my screen. And you go back to the School of Continuing Studies, it says funding and payments. So if you click on that, you'll actually get some information about the different funding opportunities, and you can sort of figure out what might work best for you. So this is asking a question about the intensive, which is 11 weeks. So the way that one works, Alyssa, is because it's so condensed, it's asynchronous. So there's lots of things you'll do on your own, read articles, watch videos, whatever. And then we have 6 hours of live content. And the one that launched in April, or it was March, sorry, it was Monday and Thursday nights from 6:45 to 9:45 p.m. So again, there's live components. They were done via Zoom, so you don't have to come to campus. But because they're so intense, we had to combine some real interaction with the instructor as well as the interaction that you do online. Okay. Danielle's asking about the cohorts and assignments. So in terms of how that works, it's a combination. Some projects are individual, some are group. It just really depends. Sorry, my oven is just beeping. You hear that in the background? It just depends on the course. I don't know all the details specifically that says this course does this. I don't get into those details because I look after so many programs. But yeah, there's definitely going to be some individual components and some group components. So yeah, that's how that works. Thanks for all the questions, guys. I appreciate you having this interest in our programs. It's great. So yeah, so if you want interested in the part-time program in May, that's already open. I think we've got about 15 or 16 students enrolled. There's plenty of space, so don't sweat that. Some of our programs do fill up, but the May one at the moment is not full. So there's plenty of space if you do think and you want to join that. The fact that it's going to be about, maybe 20, 30 students by the time the program begins is really also a nice amount because there's enough people to interact with. There's enough people to sort of have some lively discussion, but it's not overwhelming because sometimes we have like 50 or 60 people in a cohort. Yeah. Alyssa's asking about is it best to do digital versus content? If I had to choose between the two, I would do the digital first because I think it kind of has a broader reach to understanding how the landscape of digital marketing. And then once you got to understand that, you can do a little deeper dive into the content and how to write content for all the different sort of platforms. That's just my preference, but I don't think there's really a right or wrong way. They kind of overlap and they have some kind of continuity, but they do stand alone on their own. So if you've got some interest in or some background in marketing, you could probably just do the content one first. But that one doesn't start until September. So if you went with the digital one, you can do that in May. And then in September, if you so chose, you can do the content one. Alyssa's asking, yes, the part-time programs are both 6 months. The part-time blended. The intensive one is 11 weeks, and the full-time is 8 months. So yeah, that's again, there's a lot going on with full-time, part-time, digital content. So hopefully that's all clear. But yes, the part-time blended, which is the 7 weeks of online and like that 1 weekend block, that is 6 months in duration for all 3 courses, not one course, but the 3 courses. Yeah. Cool, great questions, thank you. Okay, if nobody has any other questions, yes, sorry, let me go back to my slides, hold on a second, just to confirm that Alyssa. Okay. So this is the 3 courses in the certificate in digital marketing, 3 courses. Okay. This is the certificate in content marketing. These are both the part-time programs, 3 courses, 3 courses. And if you want the full-time, those 3 courses in both programs get combined. We've added those 2 extra marketing fundamentals and business in the digital age, and that becomes the full-time program. Okay. So just digital, just content, digital and content. So hopefully, Alyssa, that answers your question. Sorry if I wasn't clear or I wasn't clear the first time. Oh, good. That's better. Thank you. Okay. Again, I'll stick around as long as people need, but if you need to jump off, that's fine. Thank you guys so much for being here. Hope everybody's staying healthy and well. I don't think we share the slides per se, but we do send the video, so you can kind of watch through the video and you can kind of scroll through the slides that way, but I don't think we actually share the slides. But everyone gets a copy of the presentation, the video of the session. Stay healthy, be well. Hopefully the warmer weather, if you're local, starts to happen, because I'm a little tired, as we all are, of the rain and the wind and this cold. And hopefully we can all be back on campus soon and seeing people in person. That would be quite nice. All right, I guess we'll end it there. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for being with us today, and we will talk to you. Sorry, Alyssa, I'll answer that question in a second, Alyssa. Yeah. So this is just asking about if it's online. So this at the moment, if you go back to the website, Alyssa, it actually shows you what the format is. So it's 7 weeks of online and 1 weekend block. So that weekend block is either on campus or it's live via Zoom. And this one at the moment is all online. There's no on-campus component, but again, that's how that works. So it goes back to this, the part-time schedule being more online with the weekend block. So hopefully that answers your questions. Okay, Deb is asking if there are textbooks to purchase. Some courses have it, some don't. Because these topics, they really aren't those traditional economics 101 books or whatever. There aren't many textbooks in the course. So there's not too much actually have to worry about in terms of the fees. Okay, thanks for that, Deb. In terms of time, I didn't want to talk about this. There's still people lingering, so I'll share it. But in terms of time, I would say you want to budget around 10 hours per week for effort. And that's from readings, from articles, from videos, to participating in discussion boards, to doing assignments. I think if you budget around 10 hours a week, you should probably be okay. Again, if people are totally new to marketing, you know, they may need a little extra time, but that should give you a little more sort of sense of what the commitment is. Yeah. Oh, you're welcome, Deb. Thanks. All right. I think I will officially close it now. You do have this. If you need further questions, you can certainly reach out to our team. So please do that. And if you have a question for me about something, they can obviously just forward it to me and I can respond straight away. Otherwise, thanks again. Have a great afternoon. And we hope that you guys will think about us if you're looking to take the next step in your education and do a little deeper dive in digital or content marketing. All right, guys. Have a great afternoon. Oh, you're welcome, Pooja. Oh, Dimitri has a question. Dimitri, I'll answer your question, Dimitri. Do you need a background in marketing before starting the course? If you're thinking of starting the part-time program in digital marketing, I would say, Dimitri, you should probably have some background because you need to understand about consumer behavior, branding, like marketing 101 kind of topics, segmentation, pricing. Like those are all really important concepts that we don't really do any sort of deep dive in the program. So I would say you'd want to have at least some general sense of marketing. If you do the full-time program, we cover that in the marketing fundamentals and the business in the digital age, so you don't have to worry about having the background in that. But if you don't have any background in marketing, some of these things may not make sense to you because they're sort of basic concepts that we're going to kind of assume people have a general understanding of. Yeah, thanks, Richard. Yeah, thanks, Dimitri. All right, guys, I'm going to shut it off. And any questions, just reach out to us. Enjoy your afternoon. Bye.